So here's the simple formula. There's nothing complicated about what I'm sharing today. Your energy, whatever it is that you are, everything that you're about, your physical body, your thoughts, your intentions, plus consciousness, which is the general field of energy everywhere. Together they manifest reality. This reality is a combination of what's inside our thoughts, inside our heart, and our interaction with everybody else's thoughts and energy. And in consciousness, and this question is tough. What is consciousness? Part of that is scientific. Part of that is the gravitational field of the Earth, the magnetic energy of the universe. There's something that science now is discovering that is true. We have instruments now that can see between dimensions. Those super collider particle accelerators that we've launched recently. Has anybody heard of the new Hadron super collider? That's one of those engines of being able to look at this. So don't be surprised that if soon schools and universities will be tying this together. Next slide. So for us, our challenge, our invitation is to take this video game that we're playing in here. We asked to be here. We asked for this experience, no matter how tough it seems. So when you're out there interacting with your life, interacting with your friends and your work and your passions and your troubles, don't forget what you've experienced today, that asking the question, who am I? And you're asking it from a bigger point of view. Does that make sense? So this is where it makes sense, not where you think, okay, I can be spiritual and I can meditate at home or I can read about this stuff, but then I got to get back to my real life. It doesn't work that way. The true ascension, the true awakening, the universe is inviting you is to see that this experience here is changing the world, it's changing the universe. What you do every day.
The first time I saw this was probably 3 months ago. I walked down here with a guest, a VIP guest, and we were watching.
It's kind of a cool behavior that the dolphins kind of learn from one another.
We got word that the dolphins at the Dolphin Cove here at SeaWorld were doing this really cool behavior at the underwater viewing windows where they were blowing bubbles out of their blowhole.
When the dolphins are making their bubble rings, it looks as though they're blowing a big puff of air out of their blowhole.
They angle their heads so that it comes up perfectly straight to create the ring.
It's amazing how they can emit this ring of air from their blowhole.
I caught myself going to the glass and just sitting and staring. I couldn't even talk. It was one of those things, don't bother me right now. I'm watching the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
If you had a balloon at home and you flex and you play with the end of it to make the different sounds, they can do that with their blowhole.
Kind of just looks like a little halo at first, and then they just push it and it gets smaller.
Either take their rostrum or their head and kind of move it in a circle to make it bigger.
They blow the bubble, and then the other one wants to get to it, and the smaller it gets, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to pop it. It's my toy. You can't have fun with that one. That's mine. If you want to do it, make your own, you know?
Logic will tell you that when you have air underwater, it immediately starts to rise. These rings are in a cylindrical form, and they're perfectly circled, and they're traveling down.
We mostly see the females doing it for some reason.
My guess would be that maybe the males are preoccupied with the social interaction with each other.
It seems to be very entertaining for the dolphins. It's really...
Next slide. Oh, sorry. Wasn't that fun? Yeah. Everywhere nature is shifting. Bees, whales, the ocean, birds, molecules, bacteria, viruses, they're all acting very strange. Science is just overwhelmed. That we have a virus that went from birds to fish to humans, how's that happening? That's never happened before. We're getting population shifts. That has never happened before in all places. The surface looks crazy. We're experiencing changes in our economy, in our political systems, that are living, breathing entities also that are unexplainable. But to those in this room who are awakening and getting a sense that there's a bigger picture going on. And yes, you can get caught up in the the pain and the struggle of all the noise that you're experiencing, or you can for a moment step aside and say, I'm making my own changes, I'm taking charge of my life, and I'm seeing this from a universal point of view. Radiating means at some point, you decide to project yourself and give back energy into everything that you do, instead of sucking energy, instead of taking, instead of wanting, needing, and coming from lack. Radiating means you come in from abundance. I'm a millionaire inside. I am a creator. I am a God inside. I am a manifester of reality. I can change molecules. My body is interdimensional. Imagine feeling and knowing that everywhere you go. Kids know it. They wish they could teach us. They don't understand why we don't get it. It's like this. So this is the time. This is what the universe is asking us to do. To wake up and to see how we can give back to that experience that brought us here. To project yourself and give back means you consciously decide that you're going to partake in this fun experience that everybody else is partaking in. The dolphins, and the earth, and the sun. The higher level stage in this giving back is for you to start envisioning, with fantasizing, with using your creativity again, dreaming while you're awake. Everything is possible. And I know that sounds like, wow, that's so catchy feeling, so nice, but I gotta get back to work. What if you went back to work with an idea how much that company could be better, how that project could be better? But your sense in your head, now you know the thoughts are real, and they manifest physical reality. Looks like it. I'm going to share one company that I was privileged enough to be part of with Bijal over here. This was an experiment done in La Jolla, a company called Life Towers, where we did brain training using biofeedback. And what happened there is that you were wired with sensors, and then we measured your brainwave activity. And from that, we read where there were some issues that your brain was acting stressed, it was acting threatened. You were manifesting the ideas of feeling abandonment, feeling lack of focus, too much noise. There's a whole bunch of things that happened. But what happened is, what's interesting is while you had patients wired, ourselves too, we went through visualization where we had you imagine being balanced, being safe, being organized. Your brainwaves change just from you imagining, because your sense of reality works in pictures. And at Life Powers was one of those places where connected consciousness and physical reality and all that stuff going on in your brain. I didn't realize I had those problems that I could actually work on without having to figure out what happened in my childhood, what happened with my parents, where was I abused, whatever. What if I taught my brain how to think in a different picture? What if I taught my perceptual system, my body, to imagine the new reality, just to fantasize, just like children? Beige, was that a killer experience or what?
Oh yeah.
It changed my life. Looks like this. I'm working on a new project. And what I'm going to share with you is being presented in Shanghai for the World Expo in 2010. It's a device I call the resonator. It starts out with the idea of resonance. This is energy, frequency, vibrations, just like sound. And when sound waves match other sound waves, they create something called a harmonic, just like when you play the piano or sing. And those waves act to change the way we feel. How can something physical change our emotions? That's interdimensional. We forget that. Looks like this. So we're working on a concept called a resonator, which is that giant cube that you see. It's a room that you step into that resonates inside with the sound. And on the outside, you control it with this pyramid device that you go up and touch. And everything is humming to a certain sound. So it's a way to blend the knowledge of how our intentions is going on in our head, the knowledge of science and how sound functions, and the idea of architecture and industrial design all working together. So we are building technology that uses consciousness science and knowledge